The Shannon School of Business Small Business Development Center is pleased to present Entrepreneurs in Action, a series of short videos designed to help clarify some of the issues that affect the business owner and may sometimes be a challenge. Developed by the business professors of Cape Breton University and featuring successful entrepreneurs, these videos provide viewers with the ability to ask the right questions of themselves and others to get the answers they need in order to succeed.
Hello, I'm Dr. Keith Brown. I'm Vice President External at Cape Breton University. I'm also an Associate Professor of Marketing, and I hold the Purdy Crawford Chair in Aboriginal Business Studies. I've been teaching marketing here for about 20 years in the Bachelor of Business Administration program, and in the last 5 years in the MBA program, both marketing and international marketing. If I was to give you a message, the first thing is to compliment you on the fact that you're interested to learn about business. Using these modules, learning any type of learning mechanism, it's only going to benefit you. You're having the opportunity here, of course, to learn from people in many different fields, and I hope I can give you a little insight in a minute or two. Why marketing? Well, quite simply, in my opinion, you can't have a successful business unless you have a successful marketing plan. And to boil that down into a word or two, you have to know who is your customer, what do they like, what don't they like, why don't they like something. And if you know these things, you're going to be successful in business. At least you're going to be successful with your marketplace. So remember, do your homework, ask what your customer wants, and listen to them. Give them what they want, and you're going to be successful. All of the best in your business venture, and remember, marketing is really important.
Marketing is the process of promoting, selling, and distributing a product or service. And a marketing plan is a roadmap showing you how to get where you want to go in order to be successful in the marketplace. It's a very important part of an overall business strategy. Let's take a look at some of the signposts on this roadmap. There's consumer behavior, what people buy, why they buy it, when, where, and how often. And of equal importance, how often they use the product or service. Market segmentation. This signpost identifies groups of consumers who are similar to one another in one or more ways. It's one of the most important and useful marketing concepts. Some things like gender and education level are measurable, and these statistics are called demographics. Things like tastes and personalities can't be measured as easily, but it's important to consider both demographics and personal taste to identify groups of consumers who are similar to one another in one or more ways. Using both of these marketing tools, we can identify groups of consumers who are similar to one another in one or more ways. For instance, 2.4 million Canadians are tweens aged 9 to 12. They spend $1.4 billion a year on CDs, clothes, and movies. Another group are baby boomers born between 1944 and 1964, who represent 33% of the entire Canadian population and are the largest and wealthiest group of consumers. Inside these groups, there are other groups: travelers, hockey players, gourmet chefs, and video gamers. Now the fun begins, figuring out who you need to reach and how you're going to reach them and motivate them. The answer lies in research. In order to know exactly who your customers are, so you can satisfy their needs and wants, you need to do some research. Sure, you can gather a lot of information about competitive products and services and facts from Stats Canada and other sources, but in the end, it is often necessary to divide your particular market area and conduct a survey of your own. Remember that asking non-threatening and non-leading questions will result in a more honest answer. And don't assume that the person responding knows the correct answer, because in the world of research, there are no correct or incorrect answers, only correct questions. For instance, an example of a bad question for a restaurant owner to ask is, do you like the texture and flavor of our food? Because it is not specific and texture and flavor are very personal, that is a bad question. Instead, you might ask, what soup do you like best? Circle one of the following: vegetable, mushroom, beef and barley, cream of broccoli. You will learn which soups are more popular, and this information can guide your menu preparation. Here with some first-hand experience of local market research is Cape Breton entrepreneur Bruce Maloney, owner of the largest independent shoe store in Nova Scotia. Bruce, what kind of research did you do or continue to do?
I don't like to reinvent or invent something new. You learn from experts who have done it before you. So I attend all the trade shows, mostly in Montreal, Toronto, and local ones, Halifax, Moncton. You see trends that are in the they're going to be happening in the shoe business. So I think my research for that was more attending these things, trying to find out what's going on, and then being flexible to adapt it to what we're doing here.
What is the central product or service you sell?
At the Shoe Tree, it's obviously shoes, and we would be probably, I'll say 80% women's shoes. We have some men's. We also do handbags, jewelry, that sort of thing. Some accessory business that has been very good. The Harborside store down here started out as a fluke. We wanted to send people up to our shoe store, so we carried a lot of product down here, but not any of the stock. So if they wanted to try it, they had to go up. What we found was they were looking for t-shirts, magnets, postcards. So we started to buy that, and we grew our business very quickly. And now it's all of that.
Are your customers buying a product they need or something that makes them feel good or trendy?
I have very good forward fashion, but it's more, I guess, what we would call classic, good basic, good fitting. It's always important to me that it has to be a good fitting footwear. And so that customer comes to us maybe for a little bit of, to make them feel better, but I think a lot of times it's more need.
What is the central theme about your business and your promotional efforts?
Bar none, it's all about family. It's about good service, friendly service. You can trust the people that I have working for me. They're very down to earth, typical of maybe people here in Cape Breton. And a lot of times that's what our business is all about. It's about having developing a good relationship with our customers, and where they will trust that we're not just trying to sell a pair of shoes. You know, we're really trying to fulfill a need that they have, and sometimes we're trying to bring in things that maybe you can't buy elsewhere. So it's a whole mixture of that.
How do your customers perceive you?
Our customers have learned to kind of trust what we have, and I think, see, it goes back to being about relationships. And it makes the difference as the people can come in, they're dealing with owners, they're dealing with the same staff. I don't have high turnover. I think people like that. And so I think they perceive us as a good place to do business.
Let's take a minute to review. You have to know who your customers are and how they behave in order to satisfy their needs. You must segment your market and do some good research to find out whether you can have a product or service that will sell. Now let's take a look at branding. A brand is a name, term, sign, symbol or design, or a combination of these things. Its purpose is to create awareness with a target audience or to separate yourself from your competitor. Behind me, you can see the symbol that the most powerful brands in the world use to achieve a rapid and meaningful communication with their customers. I bet everyone knows which company that is, even though the company name is not present. Is there anyone on earth who plays or watches sports who doesn't have an opinion about the product quality and corporate philosophies associated with it? The strongest brands excel at delivering customer benefits. The companies understand how people react to the brand and price their products or services accordingly. That may be worth saying again. They price according to public perception of their products and image. And here's a very important part of the marketing philosophy. Great care is taken with the brand, and it is constantly supported to keep it current and relevant. TV ads and promotions change with the times and the market segment, while the name and logo are usually constant. Let's run through these important points. These are the features shared by all strong brands. Excels at delivering consumer benefits. Company management understands consumer reaction for the brand. Pricing is based on consumer perceptions of brand value. The brand is properly positioned, carefully monitored, and consistently supported, which keeps it current and relevant. Supporting your brand and keeping your company name and logo front and center is the job of marketing communications, and this includes a wide range of tools. Advertising, sales promotion, events and experiences, public relations and publicity, direct marketing. Don't forget, direct marketing includes email, social networking on Facebook and Twitter, and of course, personal selling. The efforts you make on a personal level to grow your business. Which tools in what combination will work best for you? It depends on how well you've done your homework. What has research told you about your target group? Do they have a need for your services? What is it you need to say to your target audience about your company in order to stimulate sales? How will you keep your brand relevant in the face of competition? How will you support awareness of your brand? Does your target audience read newspapers, surf the internet, watch late-night TV? Are they young, old, or in between? Do they listen to radio on their way to work? Can you reach them with a sign on your property, or do you need a billboard? Let's find out what works for Bruce Maloney. Can you tell us about the branding exercises you went through in order to establish your company?
I'll just give you an example of a store in Halifax. It's one of the leading retail shoe stores in Halifax, and it was the former owners of the store. We were in Toronto together at a shoe show, and he said to me, you know, Bruce, you should really buy more of this brand. It was Clarks, which were a good, well-known brand in Canada. But he said, that's where you're going to get it because it's branding. And so I started to do that, and my business just grew quickly because all of a sudden I had a whole better selection. I became more important to Clarks, and all of a sudden I became one of their largest. We were in the top 10 in Canada for Clarks for quite a few years, and it's all because of this one conversation. But that one conversation led me to say, yes, well, brands are obviously taking over, and it just seemed to rebrand my name as a destination for some really good footwear. So it really did have a great effect on my business and how I rebranded myself.
Can you explain the significance of your logo?
I wanted something that was kind of fun, nice, easy to read. The Shoe Tree, which is our brand, our name, is obviously says that we're something to do with shoes, which is what I wanted. And I wanted the logo to be friendly. I wanted colors. Green always seemed to be a nice, appealing color to me. It's a little bit more earthy tone. So I was trying to come up with that, and I was just, a lot of it was, those were the main attributes, but I just wanted it nice and easy to read, and so it would stand out when you would see it, and that's how we came about it.
Bruce, do you have a unique business proposition?
We started to say, well, let's do a caricature of Bruce and do ads in the paper, and so we had a local guy do a caricature, and gee, they made me really slim in it. It was really nice. I liked that. It really did, it really seemed to connect with the people. We would do radio, we would do the ads in the paper.
Can you explain the way you market your business?
It's a personal thing, and I take my business very personal. You know, banks have taken their business and they're now more impersonal. You know, I'm a number and I follow numbers. And I said the hard part for me to understand that is my business is all about relationships and personality and getting people to trust me and trust my people that work with me. And I said, so it's a one-on-one all the time. So I have a hard time understanding where you're coming from with this it's all numbers sort of thing. And anybody who would know me knows I always say it, who do you work for? I work for my wife. She owns the business is what I tell them. And I say it to the cruise ship passengers, I'm down here, I'm dressed in my hunting tartan, and the hunting tartan is going out hunting for customers, and Liz dresses me like this to go get the customers. So I think people like that sort of version. I think it's very approachable, and it's very much a way of life here in Cape Breton. So I think I'm just trying to build on what's good here. I like that.
What has been the most cost-effective way to create traffic in your stores?
Today, with the advent of email, I've developed a great customer list. And so I can send out an email to people and say, you know, we just got these new shoes and they're absolutely awesome. Or, you know what, business is crappy this week and I'm going to have a little promotion strictly for you, my better customers, that's what I call them. And all of a sudden, by lunchtime, I have all kinds of people in the store. It's email, direct mail, that's cheap.
One of the most overworked words in the English language these days is attitude. Seems like everyone under the age of 35 is either getting it or giving it. And the funny thing is, two different people can have the exact same attitude about something for very different reasons. When you're studying consumer behavior, it's important to know what kind of attitude they have about you. Think about what you can do in your communications to encourage or modify those feelings. Now, let's take a look at two types of shoppers: an impulse shopper and a thoughtful or knowledgeable shopper. Impulse shoppers buy for the sheer joy of buying, without thought and on impulse. On the other hand, cognitive shoppers like to research their purchases, make some product comparisons, and read product reviews. Put simply, what makes one person buy is not always the same as the next person. And just to make a marketer's task more difficult, some people will exhibit both types of behavior. We've discussed consumer behavior, market segmentation, consumer profiling, brand equity, marketing communications, impulse and knowledgeable buying, and now we have arrived at this, a package of creative thinking, a Bible of big possibilities, a marketing plan, or rather the skeletal bones of your plan, waiting for you to flesh them out. The first few pages should be an overview of the plan, providing highlights of your current situation, objectives, strategies, recommendations, and financial implications. The next section is a detailed analysis of your business sector and why you find it attractive. This will include information on market size, growth, and the effects of business cycles or the changing seasons. Still, looking at the overall situation, you should discuss the capacity of the sector to support your business, the competition you may encounter, and the role that government might play in the regulation of your activities. Other areas that you might have to consider fall under the category of business environment. These include the social and political environments, demographics, and behavioral analysis, technological needs, and a review of the various government bodies that will regulate how you do business. Although this might seem like a lot of heavy lifting, like any good roadmap, your marketing plan will get you where you want to go. Next up, customer analysis. This may run from 5 to 10 pages and provide answers to the following questions. Who are your customers? How can they be classified? Which classification is the most important to you and your organization? Why do your customers do what they do? What is the decision-making process? Who influences the decision? What are their objectives? When your marketing plan answers these questions, you can begin to consider how you might cause a change in customer behavior and what that might mean for your business. You will also improve your understanding of the total marketplace. Now, your competitors aren't going to sit still while you plan for your success at their expense. So take a page or two and set out what appear to be their strengths. Discuss how they achieve their results. How do they measure and evaluate their results? Moving on, take a couple of pages to analyze your resources. How do your resources, financial, intellectual, and physical, stack up against your competition? Measure them against the opportunity or perceived threats you may be facing. In light of the customer objectives you have created, what are your chances for success? Set out your assumptions clearly and back up any assumptions you make about the future. Set out your projections, predictions, and forecasts. Now we get to the meat of the matter: marketing objectives, marketing strategy, and marketing programs, and marketing cost. There is bound to be some overlap here, but briefly, you should set out your objectives in detail and show how you will achieve your objectives based on your marketing strategy. You can then set out the type of marketing program you will employ, including advertising, promotion, market research, and product development if applicable. What's it all going to cost? Like any good budget, it's probably got a few contingency lines scattered through it. But take care to budget accurately and completely. Overlook nothing, and include pro forma financial statements, which emphasize current or sometimes projected figures to back up your claim that your hopes and dreams and devilish schemes are all affordable. Now it's time for parting thoughts, and I'd like to leave you with some advice from two of the world's all-time great entrepreneurs.